Hi, I'm Lena Wynn and I'm a divorce lawyer, and welcome to this video on co-parenting after divorce. Whether you're a newly divorced parent or have been co-parenting for years, navigating the complexities of raising children with an ex-spouse can be challenging. In this video, we will break down the key strategies for successful co-parenting after divorce, how to create a solid co-parenting plan, communication tips, and how to resolve disputes without involving the court. Before we begin, a quick disclaimer: the information in this video is for educational purposes only and is not legal advice. If you need legal assistance, please consult with an attorney who can provide you with personalized guidance. Understanding co-parenting. What is co-parenting? Co-parenting refers to the process of sharing responsibility for raising children after divorce or separation. This typically involves both parents being actively involved in their child's life, making joint decisions about their well-being, and working together to provide a stable and supportive environment for their children. Now here's a real-life example. Let's look at Jane and Tom. After their divorce, they both agreed on a shared parenting arrangement where they alternated weeks with their two children. Every Sunday night, they would sit down and review their schedule for the upcoming week, making sure to coordinate extracurricular activities and school events. This open collaboration allowed them both to remain actively involved in their children's lives and set a positive example for their kids, showing them that even though they weren't together anymore, they were still united in their commitment to their children's well-being. The challenges of co-parenting. Co-parenting can be difficult for a number of reasons. Emotional baggage. You and your spouse may still have unresolved feelings about this divorce. This can sometimes affect your interactions and ability to work together. It's normal to feel resentment or sadness after a divorce, and those feelings may interfere with co-parenting. But for the sake of your children, it's crucial to put those emotions aside when making decisions. Here's a case study. Mark and Lisa's divorce was emotionally charged. They had trouble communicating after the split because of unresolved anger from their marriage. However, once they both recognized that their emotional baggage was affecting their children, they sought out family therapy. Through therapy, they learned to separate their personal issues from their parental responsibilities, improving their co-parenting dynamic. Different parenting styles. After divorce, one of the biggest challenges is aligning your parenting styles. If you and your ex were raising your children in different ways, it's essential to find common ground. Parenting styles don't always align, and sometimes the differences can be frustrating. One parent might be more permissive, while the other is more strict. Finding a middle ground where both styles can be blended is key to creating a unified approach for the children. Here's a real-life example. Maria and Alex had differing views on discipline. Alex believed in more strict rules, while Maria took a more relaxed approach. After several disagreements, they sat down and made compromises. They agreed on clear rules regarding screen time and bedtime, and Alex softened his approach when it came to minor issues, ensuring that their children felt consistency across both households. Logistical challenges. Managing two households, schedules, and activities for the children can get complicated. Finding a system that works for both parents is crucial. Here's a case study. Sarah and David were divorced for over a year, and the logistical aspects of co-parenting were overwhelming. They had two children with extracurricular activities plus their school schedules. Eventually, they developed a shared online calendar that both parents could access, which helped them coordinate events, avoid double bookings, and keep track of the children's appointments. By simplifying the process, they could focus more on quality time with their children instead of logistical concerns. What is a co-parenting plan? A co-parenting plan is a detailed document that outlines how parents will share custody and decision-making responsibilities after a divorce. The goal of a co-parenting plan is to provide structure and clarity, reducing confusion and potential conflicts for both parents and children. Here's a real-life example. When Heather and James divorced, they were initially unsure of how to split custody. However, they realized that creating a comprehensive co-parenting plan was essential. They worked together to set clear guidelines on school holidays, how they would share weekends, and the rules for making decisions regarding their son's medical care. This plan gave them both peace of mind and a clear roadmap to follow, which was especially important for their son, who thrived on consistency. Here are some key components of a co-parenting plan. Custody arrangements. This section outlines whether the parents have joint custody or if one parent has sole custody with visitation rights for the other parent. Here's a real-life example. John and Laura agreed on joint physical custody of their two children. They alternated weeks, but John had more flexibility with their schoolwork and extracurriculars, while Laura took on more of the medical and educational decision-making. By balancing the responsibilities according to their strengths, they ensured that both parents were involved in their children's lives. Decision making. This includes the areas in which both parents must agree on decisions, such as education, healthcare, religion, and extracurricular activities. It's important to remember that even if parents share decision making, they should strive to collaborate and avoid undermining each other. While disagreements will happen, keeping the children's best interests at heart will help guide you. Here's a case study. Kelly and Brian disagreed on their teenage daughter's choice of high school. However, after several discussions and consultations with an educational counselor, they reached a compromise by agreeing to give their daughter a choice between two schools, which allowed both parents to feel heard and respected. Communication. The plan should define how parents will communicate with each other. This may include specific methods like email, text messages, co-parenting apps, and they also should include protocols for handling urgent situations. Here's a real-life example. After their divorce, Tom and Anna agreed to communicate only through email for non-urgent matters and text messages for emergencies. This strategy helped reduce misunderstandings and kept a record of all exchanges. Over time, they felt more comfortable communicating without emotions getting in the way. Holiday and vacation schedules. This is especially important during holidays where there may be added stress about where the children will spend major holidays and vacations. Here's a case study. Lisa and Greg established an alternating holiday schedule where one parent would have the children for Thanksgiving and the other for Christmas. They also agreed on shared vacation time equally. This not only reduced conflict, but allowed both parents to plan ahead for special trips with their children. Dispute resolution, including a method for resolving disputes in the co-parenting plan without resorting to court, can save time and reduce stress. Mediation or therapy can be invaluable in helping parents resolve disagreements without involving the court. In many cases, avoiding court intervention allows for more flexible and emotionally beneficial resolution. Communication strategies for ex-spouses. Effective communication is key. Good communication is one of the most important factors in successful co-parenting. Here are a few strategies to foster effective communication. Be clear and concise. When communicating about your children, avoid long-winded messages. Keep it simple, straightforward, and respectful. Your focus should always be on the children's needs and not on personal issues. Here's a real-life example. Samantha and Paul found that lengthy phone calls were often unproductive. They decided to limit their communication to short, to-the-point emails, which helped them focus solely on the needs of their children without distractions. Stay calm and civil. Emotions can run high after a divorce, but maintaining a calm and civil tone in your communication will make co-parenting easier. If you feel too emotional to respond, it's okay to take a break and respond later. The goal is to keep interactions civil and focused on the children. Here's a case study. After their divorce, Michelle and Frank would often get into heated arguments during phone calls. To prevent this, they agreed to communicate via text, which allowed them time to cool off and think before responding. Use technology. Co-parenting apps like Our Family Wizard or Cozy allowed for seamless communication and scheduling, keeping everything in one place. Here's a real-life example. Carol and Stephen found using Our Family Wizard helpful because it kept all their communications and schedules in one place. They could post events like doctor's appointments and school activities and even send messages without worrying about the tone getting misinterpreted. Set boundaries. It's important to establish boundaries regarding communication. Decide on appropriate times to communicate. For example, avoid texting late at night unless it's an emergency, and be clear about the type of communication that's acceptable. Boundaries are essential to avoid situations where you might get drawn into emotionally charged discussions that are unproductive. Listen actively. Listening is just as important as speaking. Make sure you're truly understanding your spouse's concerns before reacting. Here's a real-life example. Tasha and Chris struggled with co-parenting because they both felt like the other wasn't listening. After attending mediation, they learned how to actively listen to each other's concerns, leading to more productive and respectful conversations. Resolving disputes without court intervention. Why resolve disputes without going to court? Well, court interventions can be expensive, time-consuming, and stressful. Ideally, you and your ex should be able to handle most disagreements without going to court. Here are some methods. Negotiation. Open negotiation is the first step. Use a calm, solution-oriented approach. Here's an example. Rachel and Jack disagreed over their son's extracurricular activities. Instead of going straight to courts, they sat down and negotiated a compromise. Rachel agreed to let their son play on the soccer team, but Jack was responsible for transportation to practice. Another method is mediation. A neutral mediator can help parents resolve conflicts more amicably. Here's an example. Amanda and Kyle had frequent disagreements regarding their daughter's schooling. After several failed attempts to communicate, they opted for mediation. With the help of a trained mediator, they were able to agree on a new school and a clear communication plan moving forward. You can also try therapy or counseling. Family therapy can be an effective tool for deeper emotional concerns. Co-parenting counseling helps address underlying emotional issues, which can improve long-term co-parenting dynamics. Another option is creating a parenting coordinator. In some cases, appointing a neutral third party can help smooth communication. And finally, finalizing agreements in writing. Documenting resolutions is key for future reference. Co-parenting after divorce can be challenging, but with the right strategies, it's possible to create a healthy, supportive environment for your children. By creating a detailed co-parenting plan, fostering good communication, and resolving disputes without going to court, you can make the transition smoother for everyone involved. If you found this video helpful, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more content on navigating divorce and family law.